This one's going to be a little bit different. We're going to talk about the exact opposite way of teaching your dog to come to you. And for some of you, this is actually going to sound pretty familiar. So I just want to let you guys know, I just want to say it again. This is the opposite of what you should do when you want to teach your dog to come. So the first thing that you're going to do with the opposite method is you're going to call them. Make sure you call them very loudly. Make sure if you use like an authoritative voice with your dog, make sure you use that. Make sure your dog has heard you. And make it very clear that, Fido, it's time to come in, or whatever you normally say. Go ahead and say that. And just make sure your dog knows. And then you're going to sort of go to where the dog is a little bit and see if they walk over to you. When they start getting closer, this is step 2. You're going to wait for your dog to either come towards you and be close enough, or you're going to get close to them. And then you're going to go reach out and you're trying to grab them because you know that you got to grab a hold of them. You just got to get them. You just got to make sure you're really grabby too. Like reach both of your hands up. I'm going to get you. Just reach out and get him. And so at this stage, your dog most likely is going to be like, whoa, no, I don't want you to grab me. And they're going to start going the opposite direction. That's actually what we want in this case. We want our dog to be avoiding us. So guess what? We're going to chase them because now they're running, right? So we got to catch them because we called them. We got to catch them. We got things to do. We got places to be. We got to get that dog now. So chase them around wherever you're going. Don't be too fast, but yes, chase them. Make sure that you know, or that the dog knows that you are chasing them. Get a little bit grabby if you have to, again, and chase them around. And do that until you can't anymore. And then when you can't, you get to take a break and you get to be like, my work is done. My dog did not come to me when I called. Or, maybe you do catch them and you put them on leash and now you sort of get them with you and you take them around and everything. So this is the exact opposite way of teaching your dog to come to you. And I see this pattern play out all the time. It's everywhere. Like as soon as you start looking for it, you find it. It's everywhere, I swear to God. And it's unfortunate because it's teaching your dog not to come. What are you guys doing? Like, you don't know any better. It's not your fault. It's not your dog's fault because they don't know either. It's not anyone's fault. So I don't want you guys to feel bad if you're doing this. It's totally natural because people are like, well, I called my dog and then I called them again and they just looked at me like I was stupid. And so I went over there. I was like, get over here. And they're like, no. And then it's like, well, now what do? I need to get my dog out from the yard because I'm wearing my slippers and I'm in my bathrobe and it's in the middle of the night. And they need to come in from pottying. They need to stop sniffing. They need to come away from whatever they're doing because we have to go to the vet and we have to go do these things. And then now. And then the lack of knowledge of how to actually teach your dog how to come kicks in. And so naturally the person's like, well, you didn't come over here, so now I have to go over there and I have to grab you and I have to catch you and I need to kick you. So it's not working. Let me tell you that. It's not working to teach your dog to come to you that way. Imagine if that's how the dentist was. Like the dentist would send somebody to your house and they're wearing a suit and like sunglasses and they ring your doorbell. Hello, your dental appointment is today. Surprise. They break in and they just grab you and they abscond. You're like, no, the dentist. They drag you to the dentist. You're like, I don't want to go. That's what's happening with your dog. Like, perhaps not to that extent, but over time, if this pattern is playing out every single day, or this pattern is playing out even 50% of the time that you're calling your dog, they're learning. When my person calls me, it's not the greatest time for me. I have to leave what I'm doing. I have to stop. And then, sometimes we play a great game of chase. And your dog is faster than you. And so it's hard to catch them. And then you need to enlist the help of your spouse or a sibling or whoever you have, the neighbor. I don't know. Like, you have to box them in. And it's just stressful for you. And now the dog's like, shit, I can't run anywhere because I'm stuck in this room. And then they're like, I don't want to do this anymore. So my point here is, that's not the attitude we want from our dogs, especially not when we're recalling them. When I call my dog, I want them to be like, what? Of course I'm coming. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing next? What did you want? Did you want something? What are you going to give to me? That's the attitude I want my dogs to have. I want them to think that me calling them is probably the best thing that could ever happen to them. Because we're going to go do something exciting, or they're going to get a meal, or they're going to do all this other stuff. Like, that's the attitude that I want. And that never happens if I were to chase a dog or to run after them or use the tone. Everybody knows this. I know! Like, don't do that! What are you doing? No! Or whatever tone you guys have. That's like my crazy dog mom tone that I have. And so it's something like that where the dog's ears like, I'm gonna go do something else because I don't like this. I don't want to deal with that. I know what that tone means. And that tone means nothing good for me. So what kind of attitude do you want your dog to have about coming to you? Do you want it to be a negative thing? Like, I need to avoid this as long as possible before I, get captured and taken in against my will? Or do you want it to be a positive thing? If you don't know what you're doing when it comes to teaching your dog how to come, that's okay. Who taught you? Like, did you not follow the handbook that came with your dog? Like, where's your dog guidebook? Where's your dog training 101? Like, it's really totally, I don't want you guys to feel bad about this at all, because it truly is not your fault. The knowledge that you have about dog training, if it's close to zero and you don't know how to address these issues, that's normal. No one's taught you. Nobody has taught you at all what to do when it comes to actually teaching your dogs these things. That's why there's trainers. And we're here to help you. Like, I say this in the kindest way possible. Like, this is not a video meant to judge anybody. This is not, it is a little bit humorous because, as I said, I find it humorous because you guys do by accident. You're accidentally doing the exact opposite. Like, if I wanted to teach a dog to avoid people and to never respond to their name or never respond to certain words, this is exactly how I would teach it. The process that was laid out, that's exactly how I would teach it. I would make it into either a game of keep away, where your dog's like, neener, can't catch me, or it would become an event that just wasn't very pleasant for the dog, and they'd be like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm not doing that. So for me as a trainer, it is a little bit humorous that you guys are moving farther from your goal. And some people are so convinced. Well, it's not their fault either. It's not your fault that you might have misconceptions about dog training, or you might have misconceptions about, oh, well, my dog has to listen to me, or they're obligated to this, or they're obligated to that, like by default. These misconceptions are everywhere. And I have to do, that's for a separate video, guys. But there's a ton of them, and they are alive and well. And I want to tell you, they're a bunch of bullshit. Like, there's a ton of misconceptions out there. They're very popular. They're still alive. Perfectly normal people believe them. Perfectly normal people practice them. Perfectly normal people think they work. And on and on and on. Anyhow, that's my 2 cents on here before this turns into a hour-long production. I'm going to go ahead and end it, and I will see you guys in the next one.